Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to F1 Manager 24 Creative Team here on the PS5 with Brabham Cadillac. Yes, Cadillac have finally completed the purchase of the team. We will race as Brabham Cadillac for the second half of the season before we move on to Ferrari, and Cadillac will take full branding ownership of the team and become Cadillac proper for next season. But we still have the second half of this season to work through. It's round 15 tonight. We are heading to Spa-Francorchamps. No, we are not heading to Spa-Francorchamps. We did that last night. We are heading to Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. There we go. So, last night, sale negotiations completed. Cadillac have now taken ownership of the team. As I say, we're going to race with Brabham in the name and with the camel livery for the rest of this season. But the final race of the year will be switching over to the livery for next season for Cadillac themselves. So you'll get to see a sneak peek of us running that livery for one race before we leave the team and move to Ferrari. Speaking of Ferrari, they signed Guan Yu Zhou as one of their drivers yesterday. So we know who one of the drivers will be at the team when we go there. It's not a driver I would necessarily want, but it is a driver. So it's certainly better than the ones that are there right now. As for the rest of the staff, haven't really looked into their contract status. I guess we'll find out what that's going to be a little later, unless we decide to do a bit more spying, which I don't really want to do. But as it's the start of the second half of the season, and there's a good chance that teams will have brought some upgrades, we're going to do a little deep dive into each team tonight in terms of their performance before we get into the race itself. How you doing, Anthony? Good to see you tonight. First in tonight. You either first in or last in. There's very little in between. And yes, I am feeling better, thank you. Civ 7 comes out tomorrow. That's it's not something that's high on my list of games I'd like to play. Unfortunately, I fell out of love with Civilization. I really enjoyed Civ 5 on the PC. I was okay with Civ Revolution on the PS3, but yeah, it's like £120 I think for the full edition of Civ 7. It's not cheap at all, especially when you consider you can pick up quite frequently on sale like Civ 6 for like £2.50 or something stupid like that. So yeah, maybe I'll pick up 6 at some point, I don't know, but I don't think I'll be playing 7 anytime soon. Right, let's go straight over to our car, see if there's any parts that we need to put on. So it looks as though we have every part available. Let's double check. Yep. They are now both running the new rear wing. Same side pod, same underfloor. Same suspension, and we do have more parts coming as well. As you can see, we have a side pod, a chassis, a suspension, and a front wing all going through right now. Side pod will be ready in 10 days to go into production. Then it'll be just over 2 weeks for the suspension and the chassis, and about 3 weeks for the front wing. So by the time we get to COTA, all of those parts should be on the car. But how are we stacking up against everybody else? Well, DRS is now much more effective. Now we're up to 9th from like 21st. So that's a nice improvement. Speed has improved a little bit against the grid. Medium and high speed has stayed the same. Low speed has improved ever so slightly. Dirty air looks like it might have gone up just a little bit. But still looks a bit rough on paper against the rest of the field. But let's dive in and start at the back of the grid. So let's start with the team that's in 11th place in the championship, and that is Ferrari. And Ferrari actually have a better car than us on paper. For the most part, they've got a little bit more speed than us. They've got more downforce than us, better dirty air tolerance than us, better tire wear than us, slightly better engine cooling than us. We do have better acceleration and DRS, but the driver's making the difference there quite significantly. So we are definitely still down in the downforce area, comparing against Ferrari. Next up is Haas. And Haas, so Haas are definitely running probably the worst car on the grid. Terrible speed, acceleration, DRS, and downforce. It's actually worse than us. Let me have a look and see if car 2 is a little better. Oh yeah, big difference between the two cars. Perez running a much better spec. Much better spec of car. Okay. Ooh. Let's see who is next. It's quite close at the bottom. I think we'll look at Aston Martin. No, let's look at Sauber. So Sauber have got some decent levels of downforce. They're very good in the dirty air, very good in the tyre wear. Lacking in speed and acceleration and DRS are around the middle. Any difference between their two specs? Nope, they are running the same spec. Let's have a look at RB. So they're running identical specs, middle of the pack in terms of speed, low on the acceleration, middle DRS, pretty decent in the downforce. Upper midfield in the medium and high, midfield everywhere else on their car. Let's take a look at Alpine. Let's take a look at Aston. But Aston have been tacking on some speed recently. They're still struggling a little in the downforce area. Let's see if there's any difference between their two cars. Looks like they're running very similar spec. Not quite the same, but not far apart. Now we'll look at Alpine. So Alpine have got a really good car when it comes to cornering. Best low speed, pretty strong in the medium and high, very good in the dirty air as well. Their cooling is nice, just lacking a little bit of speed and acceleration. Let's see if Sargent's running a lower spec. Nope, they're running the same spec there. Sargent is leaving Alpine as well. Does not have a drive for next season just yet. Zhou being replaced by Ocon. Ocon going back to Alpine next season. And Zhou, as we said, is going to Ferrari. Let's take a look at Mercedes. Ooh, Mercedes look like they've slipped a bit, unless they're running different specs. Let's see. Nope, they're running the same specs between both cars. So they are definitely starting to lag again. We've seen some really strong pace out of Sainz recently, and I thought maybe they'd taken a step forward. But looking at this, maybe not so much. Very much towards the bottom in the low speed and medium speed, lower midfield in the high speed. Terrible dirty air performance. Not looking great in the speed category either. So, yeah. Mercedes struggling a little bit more than I thought they were. Let's take a look at McLaren next. So McLaren, very, very quick in terms of downforce. Look at that. They might have actually overtaken Williams here as the best downforce car on the grid. Middle of the pack in their speed, strong DRS, poor acceleration, decent cooling. Any difference between the two? No, they are both again running the same stuff. Evening Army. And let's go to Red Bull next. Oh, Red Bull have taken a step forward. Look at that. They are third in speed and DRS, first in acceleration. Their downforce has definitely improved as well. So Williams have maybe slipped a little bit more. Red Bull definitely coming back to the fore at a critical point, because they are in that fight with Williams for second place in the Constructors. And again, same parts between the two cars by the look of it. So let's take a look at Williams. Williams do still have the fastest car in a straight line, best DRS as well. They have slipped in the cornering, so other teams have been tacking on some downforce over the midsummer break, but they are still going to be a force to be reckoned with, especially at Monza, our next Grand Prix. So that's a little look at where we sit compared to the competition. Let's set our targets for this evening. So 15th for Oscar, and 16th for Kimi. Once again, we should be absolutely smashing those targets. And let's head to Zandvoort.
Hello, and a very warm welcome as we prepare for the Dutch Grand Prix. We're back from the summer break with topped-up tans. Vacation, though, is now over, and it's time to get serious on the track for the second half of the F1 season.
Taking a look at the top of the constructors' standings, we've got a team that's starting to pull away. And 15 rounds in, the teams are still fighting hard for every last point.
So stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. The weekend starts here.
What's happened to the car? Not much. I mean, we have just started to put some more upgrades on the car. The first one was the rear wing, but we've been gradually slipping down the order. Where we had utter dominance at the start of the season, it's been less clear in more recent races. We actually did not win last night, but then I wasn't expecting to, given the nature of that circuit and how other teams have started to step up. But we're still strong. We're still hitting podiums every race. So we're still, right there at the pointy end of the grid. And that's more down to the drivers than anything else. Right, what weather do we have? Dry today, very wet on Saturday, and then some rain on the Sunday. So we could be looking at a dry, wet race, or just a straight wet race. We shall see. Qualifying could be interesting. Let's set 25 laps of fuel. We're going to switch back to those engines there. We'll switch back to that ERS, and gearbox is getting a little iffy on the other gearbox, so we're going to stick with this one now for practice stuff. Moving over to car 2. There we go. Again, we're going to stick in about 25 laps of fuel. There we go. And Zandvoort's a bit of a strange circuit. It's very quick, but it's also very high downforce at the front. Pretty, medium to high downforce on the rear. So we're going to be in sort of the 9 and 10 range on the front and around a 13 to 14 on the rear. Let's start with Oscar's car, and let's go with a 9.5 on the front wing. A 13.5 on the rear. We'll go around the middle on the roll bar. We'll push that up a little bit, and we'll push that up a bit more as well. Let's go up to about there. Not quite full. And we'll do something a little bit different again with Antonelli. Nothing too drastically different. We'll go all the way up to a 10 on the front wing. Again, we'll stick with a 13.5 there. I'm going to stick with a 6.4 as well. We'll go a little lower there, but we'll go a little higher here. I think. Let's bring this down a little bit as well. And let's see how we do with that.
Green light. Radio check.
Yeah, what season are you in,
Radio's
Anthony?
all good.
I saw that last night. I asked you what season you're in, you didn't tell me.
Radio check.
Radio's good.
Radio's loud and clear.
And we want to generate some temperature for this.
You just said that you were going to be getting fired at the end of the year. Oh, you're in season 3. Target is 4th. Well, you might be okay. What's the board confidence level at? As long as your board confidence level isn't at lost confidence, you should be okay. You don't have any massive debt, do you? They've lost all confidence in you. Yeah. Unless you can get them to low confidence, you're getting fired. Have you got time to maybe bump up the effectiveness of your boardroom? That might help. If you can get another good result in the final race, final 2 races. The boardroom's maxed. Oh, yeah, that's not good then. That's really not good. You just need to hope you get good results in the last 2 races. Something just enough to get you into low confidence, and then you should just about squeak through. Evening, Dino. Evening, Wayne. We're at 90% for Kimmy. 92% for Oscar. So nice, good start there. A little bit of work to do to find the 100 on that.
Surface temperatures currently looking quite low.
The eagle-eyed of you may have noticed a little bit of a change in the titling of this episode. Let me know if you spot it. Alright, so we're off here. Let's see. Do I go with 7.3 or do I go with a 5.5? Correct, yes. Brabham Cadillac is now in the titling of the stream. As I said, for those of you who just turned up, we will be running the new livery, the Cadillac livery, for the final Grand Prix of the season. But we will be sticking with Brabham and Camel for the rest of this season. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to go 5.5. And that's the only change you're going to make. And that is just done for this season. This practice session. Speaking of new liveries, we are getting very close to the launch of new liveries this year. February 18 will be when the launch event goes live. which is just under 2 weeks away. Curious to see what changes we might see on the grid. Okay, Gasly looking pretty quick. Into the second session, we're just going to go with 20 laps this time. Driver prep's already looking pretty close. We've made our changes already, so let's just send them straight out.
Green light.
And I've started a speed run to get the last few trophies I need to platinum this game. I've done the first 4 races today. Hopefully I can get everything done in one season. Let me have a look, actually. What trophies do I still need? I need the fastest pit stop award, which I'm going to win this season here anyway, so don't need to do that. I need the Grand Slam, pole position, fastest lap, win the race, lead every lap. I need the Holy Trinity, which I should get this season anyway. The future is now. Have a driver become the youngest ever world champion. I think that is the last one I need. Actually, let me have a look. Yeah, that's it. Those are the only 4 I need. And then platinum is number 5.
Everything okay? Yeah, understood, officer.
So I'm going to get at least 3 of those this season with Brabham Cadillac. But it's the youngest world champion. If Antonelli wins the title this year, he will achieve that. But that does mean we have to deliberately hamstring the Astri, potentially, to make that happen. Which I don't really want to do. I'd rather let them fight it out on track. Just off. Just a little bit off. Let's try that. Ooh, went the wrong way there. Yeah, I was checking the trophy card, but then I actually opened up the trophy page just to double check, and it did pause the video feed while I was doing that. Sargent again looking pretty quick at the moment.
Now the
Oh,
Ferraris
and we've got a
involved in this
Ferrari
one.
crash, and it's Petit.
Let's watch these cars as they
Always
head into
Petit.
turn 10. Oh, and the car with a nasty crash into the barrier. Well, following a crash like that, it'll be important now to ensure that any debris is cleared from the scene.
Oh dear. All these crashes this year mean that Ferrari could be in massive financial trouble when we take them over again next season. What if they're not going to have the funds to replace Petit with anyone anywhere decent? We might not have the funds to be able to sign Antonelli. There'll be no breakout fee, but it's whether we can afford the wages. Because we'll have to offer him a lot. Oh, I'll get them back to the front of the grid. Might take me a couple of seasons, but I'll get them back to the front of the grid. It all depends just how bad their facilities are as to, and what level they are as well, because if they're a higher level, they're going to be much more expensive to refurb. And they should be a decent level just because it's Ferrari. So it won't be cheap just getting everything back to basic level. That's going to eat up a lot of funds that might impact our development a little bit in the first season. So Max and Gasly both top. Leclerc third. All the fast boys at the front. Alright, we've got a wet session now. I'm going to put a set of softs on for this one. But we may end up just going straight to inters, depending on what the weather's going to do. I want to keep a set of mediums just in case, because it's going to be quite unknown with the weather for race day. It could be, as I say, like yesterday, where a lot of dry running and then a bit of rain, or a bit of rain, then a bit of dry running. Could be completely wet. Hard to tell when it's light rain like that. Let's see how these changes shake out for the car.
Sessions should be starting now.
We'll just wait till that rain's gone before we send them out. No point sending them out on slicks when it's about to rain for a very short period of time. It just encourages us to make a crash mistake. You can see the screen getting a little cloudier as that rain rolls in. There's some of the colour leaching out. And it gets a bit darker. The sun's come back out again. There we go, rain has stopped. Let's send them out now.
Tyre temps are still low. Just give us a balance check.
Just short. We're going to have to send them back out again because we haven't got enough track time.
Yeah, understood.
It's because of our car park knowledge being reduced. Evening, Packins. Let's call Antonelli in now.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, Oscar, give me that feedback before this lap finishes, please. They have to do another lap, aren't they? Oh. Just caught him in time.
Is the car all okay?
Ooh, that was good timing. Oh, and he's maxed out as well, so we only need to send him out for about
Understood.
6-7 laps, maybe, if that. We'll just do a straight refuel. But there we go. One car perfectly set up. The other car about to hit pits. That's at 92%, so that might be the roll bar.
Yeah, stop any marks and switch off.
I don't think it will be the roll bar, though. No, it's not. It's the toe. That's the big problem there. Let's go with that. Oh, we got a VSC.
Keep the delta
That's an
positive.
Aston in the wall. Stoffel Van Dorn crashing out
We've
at.
got a yellow flag here.
It says
here
turn
we are
3. I always
tackling turn
label that
3.
turn 4.
Within a split second, the impact's made. And you've got to think that this has made their weekend a whole lot.
Zandvoort equivalent of the carousel.
We're happy to slide this tyre a little bit more, try and get it in the window.
And there we go. Oscar is done, so we can call him in.
Here's the ending.
Copy.
Balance check.
And Antonelli
A firm, I think that
is now done as well. Excellent stuff. There we go. So both drivers fully prepped. Car is set up perfectly. Just need to qualify well now. See how heavy the rain's going to be.
Welcome to qualifying. Let's find out if all that practice will pay off for the drivers.
Qualifying consists of 3 periods, with the slowest drivers eliminated after each one. With the pressure mounting, who can secure a strong starting position for the race?
Now, there's been a bit of talk lately about Oscar Piastri. Karun, how's he been doing?
Well, they're certainly delivering better results than their teammate, and they'll be expected to keep that up for the rest of the weekend.
Hold on tight, because we're getting underway.
So, starting on the inters, we'll go with 2 flying laps of fuel. Let's check the weather forecast before we send them out.
Green light.
It's going to get worse, so let's send them straight out. This is the track going to be at its absolute driest. And we've got Ocon straight out as well. Same for Ricardo. Everyone's going to come straight out. Max is coming out. And he's going to be stuck behind the Haas. That's going to hurt him. Is there a chance Verstappen could get knocked out in Q1 here?
And we want to generate some temperature for this outlap.
I'm going to watch Verstappen's lap. Because he might get held up really badly here.
Copy.
That Haas, we know that is the worst car on the grid right now. The only reason it's not worse than the Ferrari is because of the driver pairing. Otherwise, they would be absolutely rooted to the bottom of the standings. Which Haas is it? It's Perez, so that's the quicker of the 2 spec'd cars.
Let's go.
So that's a little bit of a reprieve there for Max,
8
but
seconds of clear air ahead.
still could get held up quite badly.
And good to go.
Ocon tucked up behind Piastri. Max goes purple in the first sector. I'm not surprised by that because he's got a really strong slipstream, but this is where he could struggle through this sector here. This might actually work out for Max. He might be okay. That slipstream he got in the first sector and the slipstream he's getting here might be enough. Ocon goes top, then it's Piastri from Antonelli. Ricardo goes P4. Now Max goes P4, so Max is safe. He did definitely lose some time there, but he also gained a bit of time, you know, conversely as well. Ibn Farah. We are prepping for another lap. Put a little bit of space between our drivers. Someone's made a mistake.
This could be difficult with traffic at the end of the lap.
Let's take a
No
closer
surprises there. It's
look.
Petit.
Now, this was at turn 3. Oh, he's
just
seen a
kept
few
it out
go
the
off
barriers.
track there. That won't do the floor of the car any good at all.
A little bit of bunching. Good to go.
So we'll ride with the gyro cam here for Antonelli's second lap. Track water level starting to go up, so we need a decent lap just to be safe. No one should improve from this point on anyway. Apart from maybe us. Up to the big banked corners. And Antonelli does make sure he's safe. No improvement for Piastri there. And with the track getting worse, I don't think anyone else is going to improve now. Has to spin for the other Ferrari now.
This is what happened as they took turn 8. And then the car just goes. And that certainly wouldn't have been in their plans today.
Getting some minor improvements on the field. Nothing substantial. Iwasa got himself up to 17th, but he's not going to be able to get through now. So that looks to be your running order. Iwasa, Lawson, Mori, Perez, Petit, and Albon will be eliminated. The Red Bull's looking very quick. Into Q2, we'll use the same tyres. Again, we'll put 2 laps of fuel in and see what the weather does. We are going to get some dry running. We might see people go straight out on dries, possibly. We're going to save the dries, the slick tyres, until the end of the session. It's going to hold at this level for a lap or two's worth of running before it goes into conditions. And then it'll dip straight back down to dry again.
Warm the tyres where you can.
Copy.
Once again, I'm expecting Piastri to do better than Antonelli in conditions like this, where it's on the knife edge as to which tyre is the better tyre to be on. This is where the adaptability rating really comes into its own. It's just favouring the Inters, I think, this amount of water, but if it was just a fraction less, you could say it would just favour the slicks. It's really, really tight window at the moment. And yeah, we are seeing some people going out on slicks, but everyone else apart from us is on slicks right now.
Good gap in front.
More slick runners. We're the only ones who've gone out on the Inters.
All clear ahead.
Good to go.
Traffic for Antonelli. One of the Astons. Oh no!
Yeah, we saw that.
I got hit quite badly.
Well, luckily we didn't take any damage from that. Stoffel just carries on regardless. Hard to say who was at fault there. I mean, he did pull over as much as he could, but I have to say that's maybe
Mate, I f***ed up. I'm sorry.
maybe that's Antonelli's issue. He might actually get a penalty for that.
Yeah, A-firm.
But no aero damage. No tyre damage either. It did damage Van Dorn's car. It's a racing incident.
Pit lane.
We maybe dodged a bullet there.
Stop on your marks.
That would have been a Stonewall slam dunk penalty for us on one of the previous versions of the game. So now we'll just wait. Actually, no. Let's send him out for a lap on the Inters. Let's get him some confidence back, because he has lost a little bit thanks to that collision. It won't be an amazing time. Track's about to get a bit wetter. Piastri in third place right now, warming up for another lap. Oh yeah, we are way off the slicks, look. Seven-tenths of a second off.
So Gasly coming through now.
And drive straight out, the track will be clear.
So Oscar happy to open a lap.
Oh my god, we're nearly 1.8 seconds off Gasly. Woof. We are definitely going to need to pull a rabbit out of a hat on the slick tyres. Another wet race. Well, it's another light rain forecast, so it could be a bit of both. Could be dry, could be wet, could be a combination of. I have to see how the forecast. Well, it'll be a combination of, but it might be potentially all wet. We'll have to see what the forecast looks like.
No rain coming.
Copy.
So all clear ahead. Good to go.
So Piastri is improving. Antonelli driving for the line. Starting his flying lap.
Copy.
Lock up for
Let's
Danny
see
Rick.
what happened there. Right, here's the action at turn 10. The wheels just lock up there.
That was a flying lap
That's
as
just
well
the
because
risk
the
you
DRS
take.
was open.
The later you leave it.
So Oscar improves to P4, but he's still a second off the slick tyre pace.
Nice lap. Look after the fuel on the in lap.
Copy.
Antonelli's confidence is rebounding nicely. He'll still be down a little bit on where he should be, given Oscar, as we can see, is in peak confidence right now. Get a little toe here from Valtteri, maybe. Antonelli up to 6th.
So that is
Nice
P6
recovery
time.
lap there from Antonelli. Bottas still to set a time. And he is on Inters.
Copy. Pit lane.
Slippy in the pit lane.
Copy.
Once again, two boys at the front are the two Williams drivers. I don't know if we'll see anyone else come out. But the track's at the driest it's been all session, so we should go top here. If we don't, we've got a serious problem in terms of pace. Because the track should be nearly bone dry by the time they start their lap. I think that's Antonelli's first collision with another car. That little incident with Stoffel.
It's all clear ahead. Good to go.
Antonelli does have the slightly better track conditions for his lap. Even the safety car. Piastri goes top by a significant margin. How much quicker will Antonelli go? Three and a half tenths. And we are through to Q3. We're going to say goodbye to Daniel Ricciardo, Valtteri Bottas, Zhou Guanyu, Carlos Sainz, and Yuki Tsunoda and Stoffel van Dorn. Going to be back on wet tyres again. Go with a new set. 2 flying laps. It's pretty borderline. Let's send them out now, get some confidence in them.
Sessions should be starting now.
It's going to be a little bit drier towards the end of the, well, about the time we do our second lap, it should be a little bit drier, and then hold static for the rest of the session, according to that.
And we want to generate some temperature for this outlap.
Copy.
Ocon coming out as well. And Max is out as well. So two immediate benchmarks to compare ourselves against in Max and Esteban. Piastri now starts pushing, as does Antonelli.
You got a good gap ahead. Good to go.
No traffic to contend with unless Stroll makes a mistake and gets in Antonelli's way. You had to put a better American in the car at Williams. Cheeky. You think you're a better driver than Logan Sargent? Here comes the rest of the field. Just in time for the potential dip in water level. So Antonelli is slower than Stroll. Yeah, he needs 6/10 off his teammate. Again, we're in that period where the inters are just about hanging on. The full wets are just about switching on. It's those tricky conditions where it's a knife edge between which is the better compound, where Oscar will really shine against Antonelli. Doesn't really look like the track is about to dip. Maybe towards the end of the session. We've got some light rain forecast in 10 minutes. That's after the session's finished. There we go. A slight dip in the water level. We will do another run. Another one-lap run. This will definitely be a quicker lap for both cars.
You're good to open the lap.
There's a little gaggle of cars on prep laps. Good to go.
Always like Marcus Dudley. Gaggle. Stroll peels into the pit lane. So we'll have a nice unimpeded lap this time round. No dirty air. Max was off the pace as well on his lap. So it was a blinding lap from Oscar. There we go. Norris goes quicker in drier conditions. Track is still drying up. So we will go top again. Porsche up to third place. And it's Antonelli who's quickest in the middle sector. Now Sargent goes top. Track is definitely drying up. Leclerc pops up into second place. Piastri goes top, 3.5 tenths quicker.
P1.
Antonelli just 6,000 slower. Very tight. And everyone has set a time. Let's get back to the pits and refuel for a single lap run. Timing's going to be everything now. If the track gets wetter, that increases the likelihood we'll get pole. Starting at the front would be crucial for us, given that we are slower than Williams and Red Bull right now, and potentially McLaren. Is anyone else going to go out? I don't know, but we're going to go out anyway, just to be on the safe side. I don't think anyone else is coming out. No, they're not coming back out. So we've got pole. Call them in. No point running. No point risking throwing the car off into the wall. Bit of an anticlimax to the end of qualifying there. But we've locked out the front row. And Sargent in third could be a nice little traffic block for us there. Max down in 10th. That will help us out as well. Ocon down in 8th place. Leclerc is going to be the big threat in this Grand Prix. Can he make it back-to-back wins? But there is your top 10 order. Oscar sits on pole position ahead of Kimi Antonelli. Sargent in third with Leclerc alongside him fourth. Then it's Gasly from Norris, Porsche from Ocon, Stroll, and Max Verstappen rounding out the top 10.
It's a tremendous atmosphere once again here in Zandvoort, with 72 laps awaiting the drivers here today.
Zandvoort's highly banked corners make it one of the more unusual Grand Prix circuits. Dutch driver Max Verstappen won with a dominant lead here in 2021, driving the home fans to a frenzy as he did.
To carry speed through the steep banking of Zandvoort, teams will need to be loading downforce onto their cars this weekend. Zandvoort has the second shortest lap time of the whole F1 season, and the track tolerates no mistakes. Welcome to race day, and before we get down to it, last-minute checks are being made.
So we are starting on the Interzone, 1.62 mil starting water level. Looks like it's going to be wet all the way through. Let's have a look. Could dip into territory, especially into slick territory, especially towards the end. We're going to have to play this one by ear. This is going to be one where I might make a mistake on the strategy call. I hope not. We'll have to see. Not going to be pushing the tyres because they're going to overheat in the dirty air. Going to go with one extra lap of fuel. We are going to push the fuel, push the tyres on the out lap or the first couple of laps, and then we'll calm them down again. And we are ready. Let's send them to the grid for the start of the Dutch Grand Prix.
Well then, it's not long until we get started here, and we should be in for a tightly contested race. A short moment of time to themselves to focus on the race ahead.
It's a P2 start for them, an excellent opportunity, and no doubt they'll be looking to grab it with both hands.
And it looks like we're good to go. The drivers are ready and the crowds are waiting. It's the Dutch Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
All right. Decent start from both of our cars. Sargent getting a nice little slipstream. Will he be able to hold off Leclerc? He is. Piastri keeps the head of Antonelli. And I'm going to brake nice and early, if I can,
Okay, so let's just get
with Sargent in that position.
Our track conditions.
Track water levels dipping quite quickly already. We are potentially going to get some dry running in just about 7 more laps. We're starting to pull away from Sargent. If Leclerc has a lunge. He doesn't. Antonelli moves into the lead. Don't want them to hold each other up.
Take any risks?
Yeah.
Battery doesn't deplete quite as much when we're in wet weather conditions like this as well, so we will have a little bit of spare battery as we hit the main straight. Enough just to kickstart this next lap.
Charge the pack.
Evening, Adrian. And there we go. We've got the gap up to just about 1.9 seconds now. I have this in the bag already. Oh, no, I do not. I really do not. Sargent's taken half a second out of me already.
Pack is low.
Okay.
And there we go. Sargent's back into that 1 second window already. Max is still down in 10th place. Oh, we have a yellow flag. Petit. Running
Right
wide
then,
on turn
take a
3
look
yet
now.
again.
Right, let's have a look now. Around turn 3. And wide they go, leaving the racing line. Well,
Drops him
hopefully
down
not
a couple of
sign
places.
things to come.
Piastri about to come under some pressure here. And you see Ocon just lining up Porsche in the background. Has to pull back in. Not enough speed to get through yet. But Sargent is very much keeping us honest, and now Leclerc's closing back in as well. I do feel we might be slightly quicker with Piastri in front, but we're not implementing team orders. We are letting them fight.
Overtake will be available.
Use overtake.
Yep.
Copy.
Logan looking to go around the outside at turn 1. Doesn't have enough momentum to carry him through. Leclerc almost had a little look at the inside of Sargent. And Antonelli's actually pulling away now that he's in clear air without being pushed into a defensive drive. Water level going back up again. This time, Sargent might have a look at the inside. He's got his front wheels there. We're able to get the power down on the outside line there, and we hold second place still. Tyre temps finally starting to come down for Oscar, now that he's not running right on Antonelli's gearbox as well. Let's check tyre wear, actually. So Sargent and Leclerc pushing their tyres a bit harder, and they're stuck in our dirty air as well. Gasly keeping his tyres under control. In fact, most people are struggling with tyre wear at the moment compared to us and Gasly. Piastri's closing that gap back up again.
start reducing that.
It's going to give Antonelli a little bit more pace. See if we can get him to stretch his gap a little bit.
Overtake available.
Copy.
Oscar seems pretty comfortable where he is right now. We'll just try and get that gap up to about 2.5, maybe 3 seconds. So there's no risk of holding up Oscar and no risk of overheating his tyres. There we go. A little bit of a cushion between the two now. Just
So as much tyre call.
might make things a little easier for us.
Yeah.
Sargent this time will have a proper look and does get the move done. That's frustrating.
No hop done. Okay, Leclerc is the car
So
behind.
just got Piastri's tyres under control. We may have potentially triggered that little push from Sargent in response to pushing Antonelli. But his tyres are taking a hammering behind us. Leclerc's are still taking a hammering. So our tyres are at 93 degrees. Leclerc's are at 112. Woo! So are Sargent's. That dirty air has really melted them.
Yes, use the chance now.
Yeah.
Use overtake.
Copy.
See if we can get back in front of Logan. There we go.
Nice.
Start to calm Oscar's tyres down again. Although he is back to being about 1.2 seconds behind again.
Recharge on.
Copy.
And now Leclerc is lining up a look at Sargent. Ducks back into the slipstream. Norris having a look at Gasly behind as well. Max is still in 10th. Hasn't made any progress at all. I think we're still in race order actually from where we qualified in the top 10. Apart from our two drivers who switched places. And those tyres of Sargent and Leclerc are really taking a hammering. Pourchaire's tyres looking really bad as well. He's tucked up behind his teammate. Gasly's really looking after his tyres, considering he's running in the dirty air. His tyre wear is equal to ours. Where is tyre temps at? 104, they're starting to spike. This race could be determined by pit stops, because nobody's really being able to get any moves done here. Track is drying up now. Somewhere around lap 23, 24 is going to give us some definite DRS. Question of how long it stays open. And we're starting to pull away from Logan Sargent now as his tyres are really starting to struggle. You see all of a sudden Gasly's tyres have worn out quite significantly compared to ours. They were level with ours a moment ago. His temperature's starting to really spike. $108 on that last lap. This lap when he crosses the line they're going to be in the 110s. And we've opened up a 2-second lead now over Sargent. Gasly can't get through soon, it's going to really potentially hurt him. And Norris is in already. First pit stop, just 13 laps done. That's a solid stop. Now, where's he going to feed out? He's going to feed out behind Alex Albon, but ahead of the Ferraris. He'll have a couple of laps of good running and then he'll hit that wall of traffic again. Leclerc all over Sargent now, desperately trying to find a way through. Just doesn't have enough grip at the moment. And Gasly is struggling as well because his tyres are now melting. He needs to get clear if he wants to stick to a similar kind of strategy to us, otherwise he's going to have to box early as well. And Leclerc dives into the pits. That will help Gasly. Porsche coming in behind him as well. Decent stop for Red Bull. Decent stop for McLaren as well. There's Norris. They're going to feed out behind Lando Norris, who's already caught the back of Albon and co. Gets past Albon. The Haas driver's up next. Gasly all over Sargent. Should be able to get the move done now because he's got quite a significant grip advantage. Ocon's probably going to box this lap. His tyres are screaming at 39%. Makes the move. Can he hold it? No, he can't. He's going to have to wait till the main straight. Will Sargent box and get out of his way? No, he doesn't. Ocon stays out as well, but now Gasly's going to get the move done. Up the inside. Much more grip through the corner, and we should see him start to pull away from Sargent pretty convincingly now. As Tsunoda comes in. Solid stop for Yuki. 1.893, another blisteringly quick stop from McLaren there for Théo Pourchaire. That is going to be the time to beat, without a shadow of a doubt there. Gasly, meanwhile, has already pulled out second on Logan Sargent. Ocon must be boxing this lap now. He gets alongside at the end of the DRS zone. Gets the move done into the banking. You see Stroll getting pushed wide, and that's damaged his underfloor. Stroll dives into the pits. Everyone else is staying out another lap. And Gasly's put out 3 seconds to Ocon and Sargent there. And he took 1.3 seconds out of Antonelli, 1.2 out of Oscar. So Gasly's pushing hard. Stroll will get out ahead of the Ferraris. Tsunoda is stuck behind one of them, but should get through pretty convincingly. Dangerous territory for Ocon here. It's unlikely, but it's possible that he might puncture on the way to the pits here. He has to box. And we have a yellow flag. Is that one of the Ferraris? No, it's not.
Not entirely sure what happened,
I
but it
think.
seems like it was Logan Sargent.
Oh, Sargent and Max having a little coming together. Max gets going and Sargent has to park up and let everyone through. He's trying to rejoin on the racing line.
And look at the team there. They all knew what that moment meant.
And Ocon does dive into the pits. Sargent continues to fall down the order. Now he gets going in 18th place. Max is coming in. He has a damaged wing. Is he going to change it here? Yes, he is. A wing change for Max. Sargent gets the penalty. And we've had a spin as well.
Yellow flags.
And that's Lance doing Stroll things. Dives up the inside there and then immediately spins off the track.
No.
You can expect Stroll to come in this lap. No, not Stroll, sorry, Sargent. Serve that 5-second penalty. Gasly's pace is slowed back down again now that he's broken free. He's got a healthy gap to Valtteri Bottas now in P4. Still more stops to come. I think we might possibly be going on to slicks at the very end of this Grand Prix. See where we are on track. We may try and tough it out. Perez boxes. Sargent stays out. So he's going to run those tyres to the limit.
Just give us some feedback on the tyres.
And everyone who boxed early is getting held up in traffic. Norris has now got a little bit of clear air. Leclerc is in 10th, has lost out some ground. Ocon 11th. Poor share there. Max down in 18th place, stuck behind the Ferrari. It's not been a good homecoming for Verstappen. Still, he's behind Petit as Ricciardo dives into the pits. Fastest laps being set all over the place now. Esteban Ocon on 117.2. Sargent is now in to serve that penalty. Animation always goes into slow motion when they serve a penalty like that. It's very weird. Piastri, closest he's been for a little while, but his tyres are overheating as a result. Pulling away from Gasly still. Maybe we have got this one in the bag. We shouldn't have had it in the bag, but
So, Oscar, we are currently P2.
starting on the front row has absolutely helped us.
Gasly is now the car behind. You have Gasly 6 seconds behind.
New fastest lap set again. Charles Leclerc 117.1. Definitely finding pace as many more mechanics are killed. Yeah, definitely finding pace on that fresh rubber now. They're into some clearer air. Sainz comes out just behind Max. So Max has really lost out. We have another crash. Stoffel.
And yes, we have. We've had a crash. What happened there?
No, Ricciardo. Oh, yeah, clipped by Stoffel. We've burnt off the bonus fuel. So we'll
Lift off end of straight.
ease off for a few laps. Let that build back up a little bit for the next stint. And Gasly's in. So let's see where he feeds out. He's going to drop behind the Red Bulls. Can he get out in front of Teo? I don't think he can. Decent stop. He's right at the end of the pit lane, which helps. He might get out in front of Teo here. It's going to be very tight. Oh, Teo just sneaks in front. So Gasly has definitely lost out slightly there. Poor share with the undercut. some of these guys' tyres are struggling already. Look at Norris's tyres. He boxed early on lap 30, at the end of lap 13, but he was stuck in dirty air for a while. Now he's got clear air. That tyre wear will ease off significantly, but they're down to 76% already. We're definitely looking at some two stops for quite a few cars here. And the dry weather that we were supposed to get has been pushed back again. See, Norris did a 1:18.7 last lap, a 1:16.5 for Valtteri. That is a fast lap indeed. Mori is the first Ferrari driver into the pits. I think. No, Petit's already boxed. Another decent start from Ferrari. Let's see how we're looking on the times. Mori's stopped there. Good enough for 9th place. Look at Mercedes. 1.988 and a 1.998. Two very quick stops. And Alpine as well. Both of those teams looking to score some serious points today. McLaren in 6th. Combined with Teo, also on for a big points haul. It is Strepan. Norris lapping about a second quicker than we are at the moment. Now we have a big margin, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to continue keeping the tyre pace as it is. Sainz is a 1:16.4. Blistering lap from Carlos there. Iwasa still hasn't stopped and he's holding up Teo. Shuts the door on Porsche as they approach the right-left switchback. Into the banking, and you have to say that Porsche should get the move done here. Oh, there you go. Iwasa does hit the pits. Clears the way, and that has opened up the way for Gasly, actually. Can't quite get the move done. That's a decent stop for Iwasa, but it's not going to trouble the timing boards. Sauber have just 1 point in the competition this year. It doesn't look like their pit crew's likely to improve anytime soon. Iwasa gets out just behind Alex Albon in P16. Two Red Bulls getting close to each other again, closing in on Norris. And the wet weather has certainly been the great equaliser for us today. Had this race been dry, we would not be as comfortable as we are right now.
can reduce the LICO slightly.
Copy.
So happy to drop, lift and coast.
Copy.
See how much our tyres have suffered compared to the prediction. That's mainly because we pushed them really hard at the start to make sure we stayed in the top 2 positions. Getting close to when we want to stop. So I'm going to push the tyres a little bit. I want to try and see if we can make sure we get out in front of Gasly. Definitely want to get out in front of Stroll. It's a lock-up for Logan. What a disappointment
Now let's take a look here at
this
turn
race is
10.
becoming for Logan Sargent.
And the car fails to respond. They took a gamble and it was just too late.
Leaving Alpine at the end of the year, don't know where he's going to go yet, or if he's going to get another seat. It's Leclerc now, putting some serious pressure on the back of Lando Norris. Back in the 117s for us.
Charge the pack.
Copy.
So, going on the assumption we need about 20 to 22 seconds for a pit stop. Antonelli should get clear of Porsche. It'll be a bit more touch and go potentially for Oscar. Let's take a look at tyre wear. Wow, Leclerc's tyres again, really struggling. His tyres, that's his second set. We're still on our first set. But again, being stuck in that dirty air is pushing those temperatures up. 110 degrees on the last lap. It'll be even higher this lap. He's actually eased off a bit. Is that Norris pushing or is that him just dropping back? Let's check the lap times. Might be Norris pushing. Yeah, 116.6 for Norris. Leclerc 118.4. So he eased off when Norris went for it. And that gap's back up to 2 seconds.
Copy.
Antonelli has been really well acquitting himself here.
Copy.
And once again, that promised DRS hasn't materialised. It's the closest we've been, I think, to DRS switching on. Just above the threshold at the moment. There is our race leader.
And when you can, feedback on your tyres.
gap to Norris has come down to about 12 seconds. We were 20 seconds ahead of him at one point. Very good start. Yes, indeed. Well, it's been helped by the fact that, as I say, we've been leading from the front, which means we've been able to control our pace without destroying our tyres. Everyone else was stuck nose to tail and absolutely melted that first set of tyres. And it's kind of happened again for quite a few drivers here in the second stint. As you can see, Leclerc's tyres, his second set, down to the same level as Antonelli's first set. Porsche as well. Van Dorn's at 47%. We have a yellow flag. Not sure who that's for.
Yellow's ahead.
Spin for Joe. Well, he's learning the Ferrari way of driving, it would seem.
Sorry, I lost the car.
As Antonelli stretches his lead over Piastri to 3 seconds now. Stroll trying to find a way past Théo Pourchaire. Stroll does have a damaged underfloor. It should be hurting his aero performance just a little bit. And the pit windows are opening up. We'll box Piastri first.
We're ready for you.
Copy.
Suggest increased LICO.
Copy.
Another couple of tenths for Antonelli there.
And if we could just do a little bit more lift and coast.
New fastest lap for Pierre Gasly, a 1:16.2, and he is all of a sudden all over the back of Esteban Ocon. Can he get the move done before he stops his push? Has more tyre wear. But if he spends too long behind Ocon, that advantage will disappear quickly. It looks like the pair of them are closing in on Leclerc as well. So if he's going to get the move done, he needs to get it done now before Ocon starts getting that slipstream. This could be his last opportunity. He's not close enough. And Ocon's got the slipstream now. The Stoffel hits the pits.
We are ready for you.
Yeah.
Gasly having a little look, but with that slipstream, he's never going to get the move done. Norris now just 8.5 seconds behind Piastri. Still on course to get ahead of Porsche with Antonelli. But Piastri now is going to be touch and go between him and Max. Oh, and there's the move from Gasly. Can he complete it? Yes, he can.
We can push.
Copy. So happy to drop a little bit of management.
So fresh set of inters next lap for Oscar.
So Oscar, you're boxed this lap.
Box. Okay, let's see what you got then.
Copy.
Gasly should be able to get the move done on Leclerc. If he can get alongside into turn one, he should complete that move.
And we'll box. Box for the Inter.
Pulls out of the slipstream. Can he get his wheels alongside in the braking zone? Yes, he can. And there we go. Gasly up into P4. And that should save his tyres. They're up to 109 degrees across the line. They'll start to come down again in temperature now. Oscar's going to be boxing at the end of this lap for what could potentially be our one and only pit stop. All depends what happens to the weather at the very end there. We've got some dry weather threatened again very soon. It's Alex Albon hits the pits now. Really need a solid stop here from our pit crew. We've had a couple of solid weeks of gym training in the build-up to this race, as well as some split training. Hopefully that will have paid dividends. In comes Oscar.
Rain in pit lane, be careful, stopping on the mark.
Copy.
Oh, yes, 1.877. It's not the quickest stop of the race, but it's quick.
You'll be racing cars at pit exit.
There goes Porsche. And we get out in front of Stroll and Verstappen. Oh, just ahead of Max. Stroll's trying to hold the place.
That is Stroll ahead.
He gets it. But can we get the power down up the hill? Yes, we can.
The car behind you now is Verstappen.
Oh, that was close. That was the risk that we weren't going to get out in front of Max. Just about managed that. We'll be safer with Kimi.
Copy.
We should get out just in front of Porsche here.
Pit lane.
Slippy in the pit lane.
Copy.
Another quick stop. Can't see what the time is. Is that another 1.877? It is. Oh, they've actually credited as 1.876. So they are the quickest stops of the race. Identical stop times. Ooh. Talk about
0.5 ahead.
pulling a rabbit out of the hat there.
Yep, 2.9.
And we have a yellow flag. And that is Alex Albon.
Let's have a look at that. Now, Alex Albon is part of this. Things were all right here.
That intense training we put our pit crew through during the summer break absolutely paying off dividends there. Now we need to get Piastri past Porsche.
Suggest reduce a bit, lift and coast.
Copy.
Got the run on him through the banking. Got the slipstream, got the battery, got the fuel push. Will he step out and make the move? Not quite close enough here.
We think there's still opportunities here.
Can we get him into the carousel? Around the outside. And then complete the move up the hill. Lovely stuff.
Lovely stuff.
Yes, lovely stuff, Oscar. Stealing Oscar's catchphrase here.
Recharge on is good.
And the impact of that potential dry running is diminishing. So the question now is, when will the other cars box? We should go to the end on these tyres. Leclerc has to box soon. Gasly can stay out for a while. Norris can stay out for a little bit less, but he can still stay out for a while, as can Ocon. Not that far behind Leclerc. We're only 4 seconds behind Leclerc with Antonelli. About 7 seconds with Oscar. And he's going to end up having to fight his way through some traffic. Norris and Gasly at the front, about 4 seconds clear at the moment. Ocon is closing back in on his teammate. There you just see a flash of Kimi in the background. And we've now gapped Porsche just about. Bit of a cagey race, this one. Not a huge amount of action going on, but still a little bit of a tense affair. Teo boxes. That will free up Max. I didn't expect Teo to be the next one to box. I think that was slower than his previous stop. Yeah, still 1.893 is the third stop time, so that did not improve. It's going to come out behind Iwasa down in 14th place. And 22 seconds behind Oscar. So Porsche's threat is gone. Here's Ocon having a look at Charles.
Car ahead is Albon.
There's Kimi.
Okay, we don't want to lose too much time.
Leclerc stays out again. We're taking a second a lap out of Norris at the moment. And here comes Ocon again. Leclerc just not letting him through. Antonelli within spitting distance as well now, just over a second behind.
Car ahead is Albon. Gap is 1.7. Still plenty of opportunities.
What the hell are you talking about there, Tom? Ocon desperately needs to get through. It's Leclerc in the box. Yes, he does.
So that's a clerk in the pits. Flat out.
We'll immediately go on the attack. Oh, that's a quick stop. Not quick enough. 2.010. Stroll gets a puncture. I didn't even realise his tyres were that low. He's punctured right in front of the pit lane, so that's been quite fortuitous for him there.
Just any feedback on the conditions? Charge the pack.
Copy.
Okay, keep looking after the tyre.
DRS now active for the first time this Grand Prix. This is a dangerous period for our tyre wear now for Antonelli.
Head now is Ocon. Gap 0.9. Keep your head down.
It looks like the DRS is about to switch off again. Damn it, if I'd known it was going to only last a corner, I would have gone for it.
And we'll be cooling the tyres.
Copy.
That was very brief. Might come back again in a moment, but we'll see.
Copy.
If it does, we'll have to pounce on it. That was our chance to reclaim the fastest lap. We have a yellow flag. That is
Just keep your eyes
potentially a McLaren. Porsche
Now I'm
and
finding out
Joe.
what's happened here, and it looks to be the McLaren that's involved.
And that's exactly who it is. Porsche and Joe. Oh, a lock-up from Porsche. Passenger in that there, straight into the side of Joe. That might be a penalty for Porsche.
Ocon ahead. A gap at 1 second.
So Norris is due to stop any moment. Yeah, Porsche does get the penalty.
We want good pace.
And Norris does dive into the pits. Gasly released into the lead. Just 2.5 seconds ahead of Ocon. Antonelli right there as well. It's a decent stop for Norris, but I don't think that's going to be troubling the timings. In comes Max for his second stop. The car almost sounding like it's misfiring. Oh, it's a bad stop as well. Max's afternoon just goes from bad to worse. He will get that just in front of Yuki Tsunoda. But having fought his way back up, he's still now out behind where he started. And we have another yellow flag. And it's
We
a
should
lock
be
up for
able to take a
Petit.
look here. Let's watch these cars as they head into turn 10. Very heavy on the brakes, and hopefully there's not too much damage to the tyres.
Oh, that'll destroy those tyres. Oh, Antonelli had a look.
I am trying.
T dives into the pits, and so does Esteban Ocon. Did credit the overtake, I think. Oh, that's quick. That is quick. Not showing yet.
Go ahead now, Gasly. Gap ahead 1.6.
It's not quick enough. Not quick enough to get on the board. Lando out in 5th. Yes, thank you. I didn't even realise he'd boxed. He's up to 4th as a result of that pit there from Esteban. Can't believe Ocon's time isn't showing. That looked really seriously quick.
Overtake available.
Yep, copy.
Antonelli should get the move done into turn 1 here. Gets the fastest lap. 1:15.9. It's only 3/10 quicker than Gasly. But he's through.
Yes, let's go.
Nice job. Currently P1.
And he's away. He's very much away. Let's save that little bit of battery we've got left in Oscar. He'll need it potentially to get past Pierre, who isn't likely to box for another few laps yet. Now it's Piastri with the fastest lap, a 1:15.6, 3/10 quicker than Antonelli.
Car ahead is Gasly. 1.2 Gasly. There are opportunities ahead.
Don't know how well this screenshot's going to work. Let's see. Could be the thumbnail. Try another one here at the carousel.
Gasly 0.6. Deep breath, you're going to be okay.
overtake.
Copy, box.
Just one single fan clapping there. Oh, Gasly shutting us down. And we're out of battery now.
Recharge on.
Copy.
But we do have the slipstream, we have better grip. We're pushing the braking zone. Can we get the slingshot into turn one? Oh, sounds like either someone hit the pits or locked up. Someone locked up at turn one. Maybe. Oh, it's a VSC. Porsche has crashed.
So Delta positive.
Copy.
Oh no, Sargent crashed. Oh, he's had a miserable race. No, that was the penalty, wasn't it, for Porsche? That's the lockup we heard. And there's the rage we haven't heard for a while.
The team glued to the monitors. And
Yeah, it's been a disastrous race for Logan Sargent after qualifying so well. Right, now, here is a question. Do we box? I'm going to say no. I think we've got more than enough tyres left, tyre wear left, to not have to do that. But I would expect to see Gasly diving into the pits here.
Right.
Same for Sainz.
Into this tyre management.
Copy.
Iwasa might box. About Ricardo. Ricardo needs to box, surely. Keep stop here.
So you got a car in the Barrett.
Doesn't take it. Why doesn't he take it?
Look out for debris.
Oh, that's a mistake. Does Gasly box? He really should. He's only made one stop so far. Is he going to try and go to the end?
Perez is ahead now.
No, he sees sense. He's into the pits.
.25 laps to go.
Likely to come out around Ocon. Maybe just ahead, maybe just behind. Oh, it's going to be out ahead. That's worked out really nicely for Gasly. Brand new set of inters going on. And has stayed ahead of one of the Red Bulls. Oh, slightly used set. Sainz has stayed out. There's Ricardo box. Again, he really should. He stayed out. York in box as soon as the track goes green again. So we are first and second. We have a 13-second lead over Norris right now. We're looking pretty comfortable here. But that little spell at the end, where it looks like the DRS will be active for the last 6-7 laps, could be interesting.
Virtual safety car ending.
If we have enough of a gap, I might risk a pit stop.
You can start pushing.
Charge the pack.
Copy.
We're going to protect the tyres a little bit, I think. for the next, well, maybe for the rest of this stint, just to see if we can tough it out.
Currently P2.
Car behind is Lando.
Depends how much lap time we end up giving up. Probably run our fuel like this now to the flag. Players lining up a move on Lando. It's not over yet. And there we go, Ricciardo into the pits. I told you. As soon as the track goes green, Ricciardo dives into the pits. New fastest lap for Pierre Gasly, and then immediately after for Esteban Ocon, a 1:14.7. That is very much quicker than us. Almost a full second quicker than our effort. Sainz is in now as well. God damn it, Mercedes. You had a golden opportunity to save a few seconds on your stops there, and you blew it. Absolutely blew it. I despair sometimes, I really do. Where is Ricciardo? I'm looking for him. There he is. He's right behind Antonelli. I knew he was behind one of our two cars, just wasn't sure which one. He's probably going to be looking to unlap himself. Norris has got the gap down to just 7 seconds to Piastri. And sets a new fastest lap as well. His tyres are in better shape than ours. 1:14.3. Which is why I'm saving our tyre wear. Because we might need that bit of rubber. We're certainly not going to have a big enough gap now to gamble on the softs, I don't think, unless it goes dry with, you know, more laps than the prediction is showing. This could be a very squeaky, nervy finish. Cars behind have been using their battery on the restart. We haven't used ours yet. I'm hoping to see their lap time start to slow again. Norris lifts away. Well, no, he hasn't. Leclerc's caught him right back up again. There we go. 1:16.4 or 1:15.1 for Leclerc, looking to go around the outside. Not quite far enough alongside to make that work. You could have another look up the hill here out of the carousel. Iwasa boxes now. Bottas up into the points. Max in 8th place. Guaranteed to finish 5 seconds ahead of Porsche at this point. With that penalty still to be applied. And the gap to Piastri down to 5.5 seconds and falling. Might have to turn the tyres back up again. Right, Leclerc. Can he get alongside? No. Doesn't have the pace. We are losing over a second a lap here. Let's turn the tyres back up.
You need to push.
This would be a much needed podium for Norris, who hasn't really scored much in the way of points in the last few races. Be a huge shot in the arm for him and McLaren. Leclerc's going to stay behind again. This will be hurting his tyres. Up to 112 degrees across the line. He lost 5% of his tyre life on that lap alone. Max gets past Théo Pourchaire. Don't know if he's going to have enough pace or time to go after Esteban Ocon. He's got slightly better tyres. Onto the gyro cam. Needs a good exit here through the banking if he's going to get the move done. He's close. He's definitely close. Closer than he was last lap. He pulls out the slipstream too early, has to dip back in, and that's the opportunity gone. Norris continues to frustrate Charles Leclerc and Red Bull. Max is a 16.8 as he's unleashed. Nearly 2 seconds quicker than Théo when Théo's tyres starting to give up as well. Norris still closing in, but the pace difference has dramatically reduced. Piastri slowly creeping up onto the back of Ricciardo to lap him. Going to stick with this battle, because this is going to make this is going to determine how good a race Leclerc has. If he doesn't get by soon, he's going to absolutely destroy his tyres. 15 laps to go. Still a potential spanner in the works from the weather, but it does look like it's going to be a lot less of a dip than it was before. It's going to be more stable. DRS may be active, but it won't be anywhere near as dry as it was threatening to be. And I think Norris has probably got the measure of Charles here. I don't think he's going to be able to get him if he doesn't get him in the next couple of laps. I think he's going to run out of tyres. We have another yellow flag. It's a Ferrari off at turn 1. It's Petit again.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the replay.
He's been such a disaster for Ferrari this season.
And round they spin. Oh, dearie me, you don't want to be doing that.
There's a reason he is bottom of the championship. Not even close to his teammate in terms of performance. His teammate's not up to much either. Which shows just how bad Petit has been this year. Max is matching pace with Ocon, but he's not closing. He is pulling away from Teo, who should just about make the end of this race. He's careful, has got that penalty to apply, so we may see him make a last gasp dash into the pit lane. And Leclerc, yeah, his tyres are gone. I think Norris has got him covered. We're still pretty comfortable. We've got fuel to spare all the way to the flag. We've got tyres to spare over Norris now. We can push at the end to try and retake the fastest lap in the last couple of laps when the track does hit that little dip around lap 68 to 70. Leclerc is dropping away. Norris is pushing, I think. Antonelli has been phenomenal this weekend. I honestly thought Piastri would put manners on him today, and it's been the other way round. How many times have I said that this season already? 117.4 and a 118.6. Yeah, bad lap for Leclerc. Someone exits the pits. It's Van Dorn. He drops out right behind the McLaren there. He's on brand new tyres, so he's going to be hassling and harrying the back of Norris for a lap or two, just like Ricciardo did to Antonelli. Is Tsunoda catching Pourchaire? Let's have a look. Yes, he is. Took 0.6 of a second out of him last lap. If he can get that gap down under 5 seconds, then that penalty for Pourchaire will kick in, and that will promote Tsunoda up to 9th. Valtteri's still hanging on for a point for Sauber as well. As Albon dives into the pits, so maybe we will yet see a stop for Pourchaire if other drivers are feeling they have to stop. 12 laps to go. Decent stop. We still have the top 2 times. Red Bull in danger of not getting any points at all. Look at Haas, both cars in the top 10 now, in the top 7. Both of them sub 2 second times as well. Norris's time has been pushed off the board. And Pourchaire has decided to box. It wasn't an improvement on the pit stop time. So Pourchaire drops out of the points. Can he get back in before this race ends? How far behind Sainz is he? Bit of a distance. 8 seconds. And Sainz's tyres are in pretty good shape. Maybe Stroll will come under pressure here for the final point from Sainz. I think he probably will. Don't know if Pourchaire will have enough time left to catch them. See how hard he pushes. Bottas up to P9 now, thanks to that stop. 5.5 seconds to gap, and still have not cleared Daniel Ricciardo.
Oscar, tyre and plan update.
High attempt starting to creep up in that dirty air as well. Just about matching Norris's pace, maybe fractionally quicker in places. Leclerc's been left a distant P4 now. And Stroll has damage. Is that his underfloor again? Or did he hit someone? We have a yellow flag as well.
Yellow flags, yellow flags. Copy.
I don't see wing damage. A spin for Stoffel.
Right, let's have a look here as we go into turn 8. And that's it. That's the spin. In the end, just a helpless passenger.
That will get him away from Norris.
And clearly then, not what everyone in the garage would have wanted.
Our sights all over him. Stoffel now with underfloor damage as well. Should be a point rescued for Mercedes. Just think where he could have been as well had he not boxed under racing conditions as soon as the safety car and VSC ended. He could be all over the back of Valtteri right now. Gets the move done. And that was a pretty comfortable overtake in the end. Final 10 laps. We've still got that little dip coming for the final 5 laps or so. Stroll's going to try and come back at Sainz. Can't get it done. And I think we'll see Sainz start to pull away quite convincingly now. What's Porsche doing? 1:17.2s. Yeah, he can catch Stroll, but I don't think he'll catch Sainz. Piastri has now finally got clear of Daniel Ricciardo.
Oscar, fuel is okay.
We have full batteries. We're just waiting for that water level to drop before we start to push again. See if we can reclaim the fastest lap with the last couple of laps to go. Lawson's been lapped. Antonelli closing in on the back of Perez now. There he is.
And if you could just give us tyre feedback.
You're okay.
If you have enjoyed tonight's race so far, please do consider dropping a like on the stream. If you're not yet subscribed, then why not consider subscribing as well? And if you are subscribed, hit the bell to get notified when I go live. As we approach the last few laps, water level still holding at about 1.8 mil. That is the blue flag there for Perez. That's another lap put on a driver, and the gap is now 6 seconds between Antonelli and Piastri. He's continuing to pull away. I am very, very surprised by that.
Fuel on plan.
He is lacking a good 15 points in adaptability, I think, to to Piastri, and yet he has had the better drive today. Equal machinery, so there's not any performance difference in the cars. Powertrain parts are about the same as well, maybe 1 or 2% either way. Certainly not enough to have any kind of impact. It just has been a wonderful drive from Piastri, but an amazing drive from Antonelli. track should be dipping any moment. Gasly is closing in on Charles Leclerc, so Leclerc could yet slip. He's got Albon right behind him. Albon's going to have to pull over here for a blue flag. Through goes Gasly. The gap is just half a second. I don't think he's close enough to have a look this lap into turn one. Gets very close. And now the water level starts to drop slightly. We go for that fastest lap very, very soon, as Piastri now coming up to the back of the two Haas drivers. Norris closing the gap again ever so slightly. Little over 5 laps to go. And Antonelli's pulled another second on Piastri. Ooh, risk of a fault on the ERS. Oh, I didn't change the ERS. Got to do the same on... Yeah, I forgot to change the ERS on... I didn't even change the engines either. Oh, wow. I forgot to do that.
5 remaining.
Copy.
Still slowly dipping. It's not dry enough yet to go for the fastest lap. And Gasly get himself through. Leclerc's tyres are hanging on now. All that time he spent stuck behind Norris absolutely killed his chances of getting on the podium. Just melted the tyres. Now he's fighting a very defensive battle. Although he is pushing, look like he's trying to go back after Norris again.
4 laps remaining.
Copy.
It's a brave move. He is closing. Gap's down to just over a second. And they're about to hit some traffic as well. Ricciardo and Lawson are scrapping over 16th place. Norris coming up to the back of the pair of them. Water level still falling. Gasly's closed right back on the back of Leclerc again. Three laps to go and still the water level could potentially keep dipping. We're going to push on the next lap. Ricciardo moves over for Norris, but not for Leclerc, not yet. Now he does. Oh, now it's Lawson getting in the way. And here is an opportunity maybe for Gasly. It's Gasly getting stuck. Now he follows through.
Let's go flat out.
Copy.
Okay, maximum pace now, maximum pace.
Copy.
DRS switches on with like a lap to go. It's all over for Leclerc.
2 laps at the end of this.
Copy.
Might be all over here. It's a close gap. He's got just enough pace, I think, but has he got the grip in the corner? Shuts the door. He is hanging on by a thread here. 32% on the tyres. Antonelli goes purple in the first sector.
Just any feedback.
The DRS is active. And that makes things very dangerous now for Charles Leclerc. His tyres could well puncture as well, because they're going to overheat faster now that there isn't enough water on the track. Another purple sector for Antonelli. He is flying right now. Fastest lap is a 1:14.3. I think we're going to smash that here.
So you are purple.
It's a 1:13.9.
Yeah.
And Piastri goes across the line. A 1:14.6 does not manage to improve. Here comes Gasly. He's got the DRS. Or does he? Why doesn't he have the DRS? That should have been a slam dunk pass. It's the final lap. We're going to keep pushing. See if we can go even quicker on this lap. Antonelli may even get some DRS here off the back of the Ferrari if he's lucky. He won't, but he will get a bit of a slipstream.
Just give us some tyre feedback.
Oh, and he'll get DRS here. But he's out of battery now. Ferrari moves out of the way. This is Gasly's last opportunity, I think. Now the DRS is open. Leclerc shuts him down. Is he going to hang on, or is he going to get the drive across the line? Antonelli takes the win. A 1:14.1 across the line. Piastri's going to take a comfortable second. Norris will take third. Who is going to get fourth place here?
They've done it! First place!
What a superb drive for Kimi Antonelli.
Just the perfect end to what has been a thrilling race.
There's the slingshot with the DRS. Can he get the move done? No, he can't. Leclerc just hangs on for fourth place.
Well, wait. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
And the gap between the two drivers, 8.5 seconds at the end there. Antonelli just absolutely battered Oscar today in a race he had no business winning. If either of our drivers was going to win that, it should have been Oscar. Looks like we're going to take first and second in the pit stop competition as well. Identical pit stop times. What a weekend. A race that I thought we might struggle with. Ended up being very comfortable indeed. We only made the one stop. Everyone else was 2 or even 3 stopping, I think. Yeah, Albon with 3 stops. Porsche with 3 stops.
Formula One's newest team, shattering all expectations here.
That was a really well-executed race, I thought. Major credit to the driver, the pit wall, and the whole team for that win.
Oh, that's a wonderful scene. The team getting their first chance to congratulate their driver on a job well done. Well, Karun, how do you think they'll be feeling in the team garage at the end of that?
I doubt they could be much happier. A win and a podium place. What a great way to round out the weekend.
And that then marks the end of events here at Zandvoort.
We now look ahead to the next round in Monza in Italy. The Temple of Speed is waiting and the teams will be ready and raring to go.
And if it's a dry race, it'll be a very different outcome, I think. So, confirmation of the final result. Another win and the fastest lap for Antonelli. Second for Oscar. Third for Lando Norris. A much needed podium for him. He has been struggling to score points in recent races, so that's a huge boost for him. Leclerc has to settle for fourth place, but just held off Gasly across the line. Look at that. Less than 0.05 of a second across the line. It's sixth place for Ocon. Seventh for Max. A bit of a back and forth race for him. Started in 10th. Lost out in the first round of pit stops. Didn't get the best racing in the second stint. Came out in 11th after a second stop. Managed to get himself back up to 7th. Some strong points for Carlos Sainz there for Mercedes as well. 8 points. 8th place for him. 6 places gained. Yuki gaining 6 places as well. Gets 9th place. And Valtteri hangs on for the final point. Poor share in the end. Bit of a bad race for him. The penalty certainly did not help. Having to make 3 stops as well. Finishing 11th and out of the points once again. Stroll down in 12th. Then it's Iwasa 13th. 14th for Zhou. 15th for Perez. 16th for Albon. 17th for Ricciardo. 18th for Lawson. 19th for Stoffel. 20th for Masao Mori in the first of the 2 Ferraris. 21st for T and 2 laps down. And Sargent retiring. After starting this race very strongly, it just kind of went away from him. So Oscar still leads the championship, but loses another 8 points to Antonelli, and that gap's now down to 69 points with 10 races to go. No, 9 races to go, plus 3 sprints. It's still up in the air. It's not a lock for Oscar at the moment in the Drivers' Championship. Leclerc hangs on to 3rd and stretches away a bit from Verstappen now. He has a 15-point gap after Max's poor weekend today. Lando in 5th gets some much-needed points with Gasly jumping over Ocon into 6th place. Russell stays in 8th place. Pourchaire, again, failing to score, stays on 43 points. It's kind of an all-or-nothing for him at the moment. He either gets big points or doesn't get points at all. Sainz up into 10th place, jumping above Alex Albon by 1 point there. Tsunoda in 12th, also jumping above his former teammate in Zhou. 1 point the difference there. Sargent in 14th, 15th for Stroll, 16th for Ricciardo, 17th and an extra point for Valtteri, 18th for Stoffel, 19th for Iwasa. Then it's Lawson and Perez in 20th, 21st. No points for either Haas driver and no points for either Ferrari driver. Mori still comfortably outperforming Petit. In the constructors' standings, it's another maximum 44 points for us. The first 1-2 for the new Brabham Cadillac outfit. And the question now is, when do we wrap up the constructors? Because we now have a 346 point lead in the constructors' standings. That's a monster lead. And it's not a question of if now, it's a question of when we wrap up the constructors' standings. 12 wins from 15 races this season. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. Williams in 3rd, lose a little bit more ground to Red Bull. That gap's now gone up to 13 points, but they're still right in the mix. I would expect them to be very strong at Monza. 15 points for McLaren, much needed points. They want to have any hope of getting back into the fight for 3rd. They are currently down by 115. It's a tall order given the form of Williams and Red Bull right now. Alpine in 5th on 55. Mercedes closing the gap back up. They're now just 7 behind. 4 points further back is RB on 44. Then it's Aston on 39. 12 points now for Sauber. And still 0 points for Haas or Ferrari. And a 1-2 in the pit stop competition as well. All of that intense training we did over the mid-season break has really paid off as we set identical lap times for both of our drivers to take first and second in the pit stop challenge. McLaren gets some good points with 3rd place for Porsche. Haas getting both cars in the top 10 in 4th and 7th. Big points for Haas. Ferrari once again getting some good points with Petit. And then it's Mercedes getting 6th and 8th. Another 12 points for them. Alpine get a couple of points with Logan Sargent stop, and Red Bull just 1 point today. So the standings look like this. 395 points for us, 43 points gained. That's another maximum for us. McLaren second on 239 points. They are 56 points behind us, 156 points behind us even. But just 1 point for Red Bull. So having had second place for a while, McLaren hauled them in and moved past them last time and now stretched that gap by another 40 points. That gap now is up to 49 points. Big gap. And Mercedes closing in on Red Bull. They're just 16 behind on 174. Ferrari in 5th with 149. Then Haas 107. Alpine on 81. 71 for Williams. 60 for RB in 9th. 10th is Sauber with 48. Aston is 10th with 48. Sauber still bottom with just 1 point. And there you go. Look at that. Identical pit stop times. 0.000 seconds difference. Fantastic stuff. I don't think I've ever seen that before. To have first and second with identical times like that. Both drivers easily surpassed their sponsor targets. So that's another 1.95 mil added to the bank. Let's head back to HQ. Pat Fry goes up to a 91 overall, having just committed his long-term future to the team. And what makes that performance even more impressive for both of our drivers is that I forgot to swap out the powertrains. So, yeah, that worked out really nicely for us. Let's see, did the cars come through unscathed? No, we need to replace the side pods on Kimi's car. ERS now in pretty rough shape. That's still the first ERS we've used this year, so we've got 2 more to go. That puts us in a very comfortable position, parts-wise. Victor Martin wins yet again in the F2 race. He is absolutely dominating F2 this year. Such a shame he's not going to be on the grid next year. That's the overall standings there. Let's have a quick look at the weather report for Monza. It is going to be dry. 4 days to go until a very, very different race to the one we had tonight. Let's fix the car. We're out of spare side pods now. How long till we get the new one? A week plus manufacturing. We can hold on, I think. We are high risk on the suspension. And we're fine on that one. So again, we can hold on there. Ow, loud ringing in my ear. Oh, I hate having tinnitus. There we go. It's easing off a little bit. Let's see. We have 6.78 mil in the bank. It's not enough to upgrade the suspension sim yet. We would need 7.5 mil for that. So we're not too far away, but we have got parts that we're going to need to build soon. We need a full 10 mil for the CFD sim. It would be nice to get the design center up to level 3 for these guys as well before we go. Maybe we prioritize that. I don't know. Let's check the rest of the facilities. Team Hub upgrade now just 2 weeks away. It has dipped now below 75%, so it's starting to suffer a little bit. The race sim, still decent. That'll just get a refurb. Level 4 is good enough. Scouting department doesn't need to be improved. The helipad has dipped. Let's give that a refurb. It's only 120k. We won't get that in time for Monza, I don't think. Well, we might do. I'm not sure if the boosts come in on the day that it's actually ready or until we get back to the HQ. So, don't know on that one. No real way of knowing, unfortunately, either. Memorabilia room's still fine, as is the tour centre. Hospitality's just been recently up to a new level. Boardroom's just been upped as well. Let's check in with the board. Delighted with a 1-2, as they should be. Let's advance time. Oh, inbox requires our attention. So, how have our drivers improved over the month of August? Let's have a look. A point gained in smoothness again for Oscar Piastri there. Another point gained for Kimi. That's 3 points in the last 2 months now. And a point in overtaking as well. So, his development coming along very nicely indeed. Start of a new month. A bit more cash, I think, from the board. Up to 11.8 mil. That prize money is certainly helping out there as well. That's where the car looks on paper at the moment. Not ideal going to Monza, but at least the acceleration's nice and strong. That'll certainly help. Sauber have done another new chassis. We knew that they did a new chassis last month and started another one. Their new chassis is on the car, and they've done another new chassis. So they are really going all in on the chassis this season, aren't they? Wow. That's the third chassis in a row that they've started work on. Haas having a difficult season. Yeah. Only Ferrari are performing worse, and Ferrari actually have a better car, but a much worse driver lineup. Let's get our pit crew training done for the month of September. Get some more intense training in just before we go to Monza itself. There we go. Come back. We're going to have not much in the way of fatigue, so we'll do a day of car building, and then we'll go to some split training. A little bit too much. Let's take half a day of car building off. Yeah, there we go. Then we go to Baku, where we will definitely struggle in terms of speed. Not sure how many new parts we'll have on the car by then. Then Singapore. Let's get a day of split training in. That's too much. All right, let's just go with a day of car building then. A little bit better. We go to Singapore. And then to finish the month off, we'll go into some split training. Let's actually just change that round a touch. Let's do a day there like that, and let's get rid of that gym training. And there we go, perfect. So there we go, pit crew training is done. Let's see, how much money am I going to need to spend on parts? Side pods are 400k each, or 500k each, so I'm going to need to build 4 of those. That's a couple of mil. But we'll get some money from Monza. When do we get our money from the sponsors? Right after Monza. You know what? Let's go ahead. While we have this money, let's go ahead and do the big one. Upgrade the design center. That will take most of the rest of the year. But that'll be perfectly timed now for next season, I think, for Cadillac. We'll try and get the CFD sim done next, and then the suspension sim after that. And there we go. We are prepped and ready for tomorrow's race at Monza, where I'm expecting us to have a much more difficult time because we are lacking in raw speed. And this is the speediest of the speedy circuits that we're going to. We don't have great performance in high-speed cornering. We don't have amazing performance, but we have slightly better in the low speed. That will definitely be a factor at Baku as well, which is also a very speedy circuit in terms of those straights. Could be a couple of rough races for us. It's definitely going to be dry at Monza, so DRS is going to be a factor. And again, while we've got a new rear wing that has improved our DRS, it's certainly not the best. I am expecting Williams and Red Bull to be mighty quick at Monza, and we'll just have to see if we can hang on to them and then protect our tyres to give us the best opportunity of actually competing for the podiums, because we may potentially struggle just to stay on the podium at Monza. This is definitely going to be a real challenge, a very different kind of race to the one we had tonight. So do recommend you tune in for that one. We'll be back at the usual time of 8 p.m. Until then, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with more F1 Manager very soon.